Welcome back to Conversations with Rich. I'm Rich Massabny. And in this third segment here, we have quite a lovely lady who's traveled around the world, it seems. She's written a book. Her name is Ingrid Anders, and she's written a book, Earth to Kat Vespucci. And it tells about travels to Berlin. And what else, Miss Anders? What else?
The book is about a young woman's first time ever leaving the country. And she's quite unprepared, so she has a lot of adventures, not only in a new country, but dealing with a lot of situations she's never dealt with before.
This is a novel based on real life?
Inspired by real-life events.
Yeah?
Yes.
Where are some of the places? I know Berlin is one. Where else did you go?
In my actual travels?
Well, for the book.
Oh, for the book focuses entirely on her life in Berlin.
Okay.
Berlin, Germany.
Why did you just pick Berlin?
There's a lot to tackle, a lot of interesting cultural things to tackle in that city. And if I included other cities that I've also visited, it would have made the novel 1,000 pages long.
You speak Mandarin, right?
Yes.
And German.
Yes.
Anything else?
No, those are the two foreign languages that I speak fluently.
Were you in China, to learn the Mandarin?
Yes.
How long were you there?
I lived in Taiwan for 1 year, and then several years in different locations on the mainland China, Beijing and Hangzhou mostly.
I don't know that town.
Hangzhou is a great town near Shanghai, about an hour train ride from Shanghai, and it's a wonderful town of poets. A lot of ancient Chinese poets lived there, and there's a beautiful lake called West Lake, which is has been famous in Chinese culture for thousands of years.
Oh. How'd you like living there?
Oh, living in China is it's exciting. It's always interesting, sometimes very uncomfortable, but never boring.
What were you doing there?
I started teaching English, and then I've gone back to study Chinese and also to work.
Do you think you know something about the culture? Do you think that we eventually can be truly friends with the Chinese, the communist Chinese?
Yes, I think so.
I'm not talking about Taiwan.
Yeah, no, I understand. The more that you spend time in China, you realize that both the Chinese and the Americans are extremely entrepreneurial at heart. And even though we have different systems of government, Chinese and Americans do business very well together. Not politics so much, but business very well.
Were you there during the Tiananmen Square,
No. That was 1989.
Oh, okay. Was that far back?
Yeah.
Time flies.
Yes.
Yeah. That just bothers me about the, imprisonment of political opponents and that kind of thing. Bothers me, but a lot of countries do that.
Yes, that bothers me as well. As I mentioned, China for me has always been a mixed bag of positive and negative things, but the positive, in my experience, has far outweighed the negative. And while their political system does leave some things to be desired, I think the Chinese people at heart are very warm, extremely welcoming, and culturally amazing hosts.
Really?
They have always welcomed me with open arms and made that one of the best parts of being in China.
Hey, where'd you live? With a family or apartment or what?
Oh, I've lived in an apartment with other Americans. I lived in a very small dorm room for 1 semester with a Chinese student my age. So the two of us in very close quarters. And I got to visit her home, and then other business apartments and hotels.
Now, you're a girl from New Jersey, right?
That's right.
When did all this, may I ask roughly, was it in high school or college that you started this travel thing?
Well, my mother is German,
Okay.
So she first took me to Germany as a very young child. The first time I ever traveled on my own was in college. In 1999, I did my first study abroad in Germany, and I never stopped studying abroad.
You have a master's degree. And what's it
yes.
in?
International policy studies.
Okay.
I did some other studies on non-proliferation of weapons of mass destruction and Chinese.
Wow. Is this? Let me put up on the screen here some of that information about you here. Okay, we've got it on the piece here. It's you've got a email there. You got author at ingridanders.com.
Yes.
And a website, ingridanders.com, right?
Yes.
And I never give out the phone number of lovely ladies, you know. I
No,
just had
no.
2 lovely ladies on in a segment, and I didn't give the phone number, you know. But this book, Earth to Kat Vespucci, where can you get this?
You can buy it in any online bookstore.
Okay.
You can buy a hard copy at Politics and Prose bookstore in Washington, D.C. Or you can go into any bookstore and they'll order it.
Okay. Now, we'll make a quick little generous offer here. What is that you wanted to say about this, giving a book to somebody?
Yes, I'd like to celebrate our first meeting here with a book giveaway. So anyone that emails me at author@ingridanders.com with your name, Rich Massabny, in the subject line, or Conversations with Rich, will get entered into a drawing for a free signed copy of the book.
Oh, great, great.
But this should be before March 1st.
Okay, we can do that. Let me see here. How long did it take you to write a book like this? I can't imagine, you know, where you get the time.
It was not easy to find the time. It took a year and a half to write the first draft, and then it took about 4 years to edit it.
You edited it or had somebody edit it for you?
All of the above. Me, myself, going through it over and over and over again, and then having it critiqued, and then eventually having professional editors get their hands in it and really give it a once-over. Took about 4 years.
We don't want to know, at least on the air, exactly where you work, but what kind of work do you do now?
I do study abroad programs for American college students. I work for a company that sends approximately 1,000 American students on study abroad programs, much like Kat Vespucci, every year.
Do you have positive hopes and all for the world, global happiness and getting together, or is that just something we can't expect? I say that because I interviewed a guy many years ago, Colonel Dupuy. Probably not around anymore, but he wrote a book saying that there will always be 11 hot spots around the world, that you'll never have total peace. What do you think of that?